Now, Silly Lily's down here. She wants me to say something. Do what?
Serena has a question. She's asked it several times.
Serena has a question, and I'm sorry, Serena, I haven't been paying attention very much here. Um, how much green sand blood meal I should apply at per 40-pound bag? I didn't have any alfalfa pellets, but I have azomite and triple super phosphate on a 40-pound bag. I'm just trying to remember what the formula was that I got from the Rev. Um, I think it was, and it's depending on the substance. Um, I would go, yeah, no more than a cup. Okay. So not a lot in 40 pounds of soil. Okay. That's the thing about don't be a moron. Okay. Put, a small cup or a half a cup, sprinkle it in. And while you're composting, make sure that compost stays at around that 70% moisture content. So, Serena, you can reach out, you can grab it, squeeze it, and you get a few little dribbles running down. Okay, that's at 70% moisture. You want to stay in that area. So, add a little bit. And like I have a compost tumbler, and I want to make sure I'm tumbling that every day. Okay. Not, put my compost out and I flip it in a couple of weeks or when it gets to this or that. No, I want to be not allowing it to go over 120 degrees. So I want to make sure it's moist and I want to rotate it every day. Now, you can take that, 40-pound bag, have a little tarp, throw it out, mix it all in. Just use your tarp to move it back and forth so you're mixing it up every day, but you want to keep it at that lower temperature. You want the higher life forms, which will cook off at more than 120 degrees. You want to keep that life. You want to proliferate that life. Allow that green sand, that azomite, etc., to be used up, to be broken down and made into smaller particles, broken apart to be able to be used. So I hope, Serena, I hope that answered your question. Um, there's lots of different soil mixes that are you can do, but I wouldn't go more than I would say let's go half a cup because you can do this long term. And remember that a lot of the times it's parts per billion that are necessary in that cell. It may be, 3 parts per billion of, say, boron. Okay. So you don't add a lot. It's like when I learned how to use cannabis as a medicine, I started out low and slow. I started out just a little bit more, just a little bit more until I started having an effect. Okay. To not just the pain was gone, but I was having other effects. And then I went, okay, that's my upper limit. Let me back it down. Let's see where I can have the pain relief, the muscle relaxant relief, but without anything that is too much. Okay. I like to not have power surges called hot flashes, okay? But your body gets all hot and you're all of a sudden you're sweating and you're going, oh wow. I don't want that. So I make sure that I don't go to that extreme. So do that in your garden, small increments. So, that half a cup of azomite, that half a cup of whatever, low and slow. You'll get much better results because you're not throwing things out of balance. You're helping to maintain that balance.